So I recorded this video because one of my friends asked me how he should hire an engineer to build out his idea or SaaS. So in the video, I go over like how I would find people to hire, the entire process of going from zero to launch with under $2,000, and all the tips and tricks of what you should do as a non-technical founder. Let me know if I need to make a follow-up video, but hopefully you guys found it useful, especially if you're trying to start your SaaS right now or you want to create a software but you don't know how to code. Alright, let's go be off the cuff video. So I'll try to go through what I would do if I was hiring as a non-technical founder. Basically, I think the best way to hire someone is probably off of Upwork or Twitter. I like Twitter a lot because you can see their projects, and on Upwork, there's a lot of agency people and people that will overcharge you. I would just probably hire off of Twitter and just find people that are building in public and then ask if they want to build this similar app. But beyond that, the most important part of a project is making sure the architecture and the tech stack is done properly. So like this part, I would focus a lot on and make sure that it's done properly. This is either probably through like maybe paying someone that can just review your dev's work, or just paying someone just to do the high level architecture first. That's like the most important part, which is just like the high level design, and then the actual coding of features and just like the little stuff. That's not as important because it's a lot easier to code with the AI right now. If you get like the high level design and you get all the features scoped out, I think the actual coding to get all the smaller features and smaller parts done is going to be pretty cheap. So yeah, what I typically like to do is I'll start with one trial task. So this is even before they're hired. I'll give them a small trial task that is like a smaller scope of the project that you want to make. And this will filter out a lot of people because one, they won't do it. And then two, if they do it, like most of them will do it poorly. You can filter out people that will just give poor work. And then the other thing is you can ask for how long they think like doing the entire project will take. And if you get like a big enough sample size, you'll see which one's the fastest. And I'll just typically go with the dev that is the fastest because in most cases, they're like the best dev, right? So yeah, I will ask them like how long it would take. And then some of them will give like really crazy time and just don't hire those. So I'll start with a trial task, and then after that, the thing is, I think with SaaS right now, it's probably better if you just use like a boilerplate. So there's like a bunch of options online, but just find the one that has payments and auth, like user auth already done. And then the other thing is you want to be like conscious of the tech stack. So I think the popular ones right now are Next.js and Django. I personally just like Django because I've been using it the longest, but the thing to watch out here is just find one that's simple to maintain, because a lot of devs will just suggest like using React, but this is like really hard to maintain in the long term, and it's overkill for a lot of projects. Like this part, especially like when you're picking the tech stack, you want to make sure like this is done properly, because if you pick the wrong tech stack and it's like really complicated, it will actually cost you more money in the long term because you have to spend more money fixing the issues that your devs made in the beginning. I think if you use a boilerplate, you should be able to get a MVP out under $2,000, in my opinion. It's really fast now with AI, and the hardest part is just like the payments and auth. And if you buy a boilerplate, it solves a lot of the problems. And then after that, typically, if I was a non-tech dev, what I would do is probably just hire a senior dev to only review the code that your main dev is making. The reason that this is important is because if you find a dev and they're not that great, it's fine because the senior dev can review their code and make all of the high level architecture designs. Because if you give the junior dev like a lot of leeway to design the entire project and then this thing actually scales, it's going to take a lot more time to fix it in the long run. So that's why I think if you have a senior dev, just reviewing the code and making the high level tech designs, I think this is probably the most optimal setup, especially if you can't read code yourself. But yeah, those are the main points. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions.